show them. Show Andy, yourself. Okay. Hi. Today I will be informing you a little bit more about asylums. So here we go. Asylums have changed quite a bit over its course of years. With an old history to different types of asylums and even some stories of the earliest asylums in the United States. Asylums date back to as old as the year 1247, with the first one being opened. Orphanages, which is one of the types of asylums, have been increasing in numbers over the past few years. Some of the earlier asylums have been publicly announced with some of the craziest stories, and asylums have developed a lot more since the very first one. Okay, so the definition of asylum are establishments that exist for the aid and protection of individuals in need of assistance due to disability, such as insane persons, or those who are physically handicapped, or persons who are unable to properly care for themselves, such as orphans. The word asylum comes from the Greek word named asulo, meaning refuge. These establishments are usually state-funded and ran by medical employees or volunteers. Licenses are required in order to run and open one of these facilities in any state. Asylums are open to anyone who would want to be admitted. Okay, so there are two types of asylums. The first one is an insane asylum, and the second one is an orphanage. Insane asylums, also known as lunatic hospitals, are what comes from the early days, and the ones that provide custody and help for people with mental problems. Orphanages fall under this category as well, although that is a different one. This type of asylum is set up in a way for refuge children and infants who don't have parents. Orphanages are getting bigger and bigger. Alright, so here we're going to start with the first asylum. This one's called the Ridges. And it's kind of just like the map of how it looked from the outside and how like broad and how far it extended to the river. On January 9th, 1874, the doors to the Ridges Insane Asylum opened in Athens, Ohio. The structure of the building was originally designed to look as a normal house to those who lived close by. Patients who were less disturbed were housed closer. So, in other words, this is kind of like the main offices right here. So everyone who was like less crazy were housed closer, and then some of these were like people that were really messed up in the head.
Like you?
Yeah, we're in a further location. So one of the main treatments in this asylum believed in was the fact of bleeding kicks to the head. They thought that this would kind of like help shock the illness out of the people's brains. So this is kind of the inside of it. On December 1st, 1978, a female by the name of Margaret Schilling disappeared from one of the living areas. 42 days later, they found her dead body in one of the abandoned floors in the wards. To this day, people still believe they hear female voices and shadows in the buildings. So that's a few more pictures. Okay, now this one's called the Metropolitan State Hospital. The Metropolitan State Hospital opened in Waltham, Massachusetts in 1930 on the grounds of an old prison. This hospital was nicknamed the Hospital of 17th in 1978 due to the fact of an old patient named Anna Marie Davy. Anna decided to one day that she wanted to go for a walk around the hospital, but she never returned. In 1980, 2 years later, another Metropolitan State Hospital patient named Melvin Wilson brought the corpse to 3 different graves, which he had buried all the parts of her hacked up body. Wilson must have thought that cutting up her body was not enough, so he kept 7 of Davy's teeth for his souvenir. The Metropolitan State Hospital is now closed. Some more pictures. Okay, and the last one is the Trenton State Asylum. The Trenton State Asylum in New Jersey opened up in 1907 under the direction of Dr. Henry Cotton. Trenton State was known for its more abusing of medical treatments than the help toward patients. Dr. Cotton began to have his own theories toward mental illness. He began to believe that all mental illness was caused by bodily infections, and the only way to fix things was to remove it by body parts. In 1917, he began his theories by he removed such parts as bladders, stomachs, teeth, and colons. Even though x-rays showed signs of no infection, he still insisted on doing it. Cotton published papers to the public on the research and process he was doing. Cotton stayed at Trenton until 1930. Here's some more pictures of the Trenton Hospital. And this is one of the, kind of like one of the cures that they thought would work on people. It's called swinging into patients. Pretty much what they do is they strap people into this chair and just swing them for like days until, because they believe that if they swung them hard enough, then the illness would be like thrown out of their heads. That's pretty messed up. So once again, asylums have changed quite a bit in the course of the years. And I hope you learned a little more about asylums. Thanks.
Get out of here.